Hello, hello, hello. Oh, Lord. It's time for me to take my blood pressure. All right, let me turn the volume off of that. Hello, hello, hello. It is Monday night, and it is time for Shades of Love and Life. Zeke is, my co host is usually Zeke, and Zeke is, oh, Lord, I need some glasses. Y'all hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second. Oh, I had to turn the camera away because y'all, I'm only dressed from the I'm only dressed from the waist up. I did one of those you know how the news people used to do when they were working from home and only got dressed from the waist up. That's what I did. So I put on a nice pretty blue shirt and then I got on booty shorts from the waist down. So I was like, oh Lord, I gotta go get my glasses because I can't see. So it is Monday, and I missed y'all last Monday because your girl was, in TikTok jail. Because Zeke asked me a question last week and I answered it, and TikTok did not like my answer. Did not. Somebody said TMI. You must be new here. Everything about this channel is TMI. That's why people like listening to me, because I tell it like it is. TMI. So, but anyway, so Zeke is traveling this week. We missed last week because I was banned. And he is traveling this week. He got caught up in the weather. Oh, wait, look at this lipstick. Look at... Y'all, when I tell you this, okay, this lipstick, I'm loving this. So I'm thinking about doing a lipstick line. I'm thinking about doing a lipstick line because these colors, oh my God, this is so pretty. So this may have to happen sooner rather than later because this is a really pretty color, really great combination. I've been trying out some different things. Anyway, so tonight we are talking about defining success on your terms. And so whenever it is like an official kind of schedule for me on here on TikTok, whenever y'all see something that is scheduled. So on Monday nights, it's me and Zeke. On Tuesday nights, it's me and Zeke normally. He said he may pop in if he gets home in time, but his flight got delayed, so he wasn't sure if he was going to make it. So if you see me at a scheduled time, that means I'm going to be talking with some sense. If you see me at an unscheduled time, then you know it's some foolishness. So on Monday nights, it's all about love and life. And normally my co-host is Zeke. He is a dating coach. And so we're able to play off of each other. On Tuesday nights, we talk, I talk business. So Tuesday nights is all about business. If you catch me on a Sunday night, it's all about life and love and going through transition if you are a woman. So tonight is Monday night, and we are talking about defining success on your own terms. Hey, Bryson. So tonight we are talking about defining success on your own terms. So, and I love this topic because y'all know that I am actually the CEO of Southern Elegance Candle Company. And I started Southern Elegance Candle Company when I was 45 years old. Okay, so I was literally, I think, going through a midlife crisis. I had a baby at 40. I was one of those people that was never going to have a baby. And then I had a baby at 40. And then I started a company at 45. So I decided that I no longer wanted to work in education. And I just quit my job one day and said, I want my life to look differently, and I decided that I was going to have success on my own terms. And so I figured I'd start this little company and I would make a little bit of money on the side, right? And then Southern Elegance literally turned into a multi-million-dollar company within 3 years. And we have consistently done $1 million plus in sales up until recently. I think this will be the first year where we do less than $1 million, only because, y'all, I was tired. I am tired, and I decided that I wanted my life again to look a little bit differently. And I talk about the pivot all the time. So at any point in time in your life, you can pivot. So when I was 40, I pivoted and had a baby. I became a mom. When I was 45, I quit my job. I pivoted and started Southern Elegance Candle Company. At 49, I didn't have any other choice but to pivot because my husband decided he didn't want to be married anymore. So I had to pivot, and I became a single mother, a single divorcee, I guess, a divorcee. And then, all of a sudden, my company grew, and I became like kind of a little mini celebrity in certain circles. People know exactly who I am. And then I joined TikTok. And then I got a following on TikTok. Not like it's the biggest following ever, but I'm rapidly approaching 100,000 followers on TikTok. So at any point in time, you can pivot and define what success looks like to you. One of the things, so I have 2 coaching programs. I coach small businesses, and then I do personal group coaching. I do 2 types of coaching. And in both cases, the very first thing that we talk about is, what do you want your life to look like? When I'm doing business coaching, the very first question I ask people is, what do you want your life to look like? Because too many times in these social media streets, it is what other people have defined as success. And I can tell you from personal experience, when I was in education, I wanted to be a superintendent. So I worked my way up through the ranks. I was an administrator. I was working as an AP at a school, and I was just like, the closer I got to being a principal, the less I wanted it. The closer I got to seeing how superintendents had to function, the less I wanted it. So sometimes you really have to be careful about what you are asking for, because it's not really what's going to serve you. So at some point in time while I was working in education, I said, I don't want to do this shit no more. I do not want to do this anymore. But I had structured my whole life around doing one thing, and that was working in education. Now, I'm brave enough. I just said, I'm not doing this anymore. I don't want to do it. So I quit. I walked away, and I started my own company. Don't really recommend that, but if you feel strongly about it, you can pivot at any point in time. So I was like, oh, I'll be a nice little CEO. Then when I got on TikTok, you know what people told me? You don't look like a CEO. You don't talk like a CEO. Now, y'all, I don't cuss nearly as much as I used to. I went back and watched some of my earlier TikToks. I did do a lot of cussing. So TikTok don't like that. They suppressed my videos. So I said, okay, I'm going to stop cussing. I still slip up every now and then. But people were like, you don't look like the CEO of a multi-million-dollar company. You don't look like the CEO of a multi-million-dollar company. And I was like, well, what does one look like? Because that's what I am. What does a CEO look like? They were like, well, I didn't have the proper English. Okay. I did not have the straight hair. I did not have the correct demeanor. I did not have the proper etiquette. Like, I didn't have any of the things that we have been conditioned to believe that a successful person has. But it's because I defined what I wanted success to look like for me. I created a roadmap, and I said, this is what I want success to look like for me. And so I created the life that I wanted for myself. You see what I'm saying? And so we each have to decide, like, exactly what do we want success to look like? What do we want it to look like? And whatever that you weren't pretentious enough, I absolutely was not pretentious enough. And I think that is what it boils down to, that I was not pretentious enough. I did not put on airs. I did not pretend. I was very down to earth. And I said, hey, I have challenges just like you. I am just like you. And that is like one of the main reasons that I got on this app. Because, y'all, I've been in rooms with billionaires. billionaires. And I was looking at them like, y'all are not that smart. Like people that are like worth hundreds of millions of dollars. And I was talking to them like, y'all are not that smart. And that's when it kind of dawned on me that success looks like whatever you want success to look like for you. You know what I'm saying? So when you see what's the dude for Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, is that his name? Is that Facebook? I mean, other than being a white male, what about him says CEO? When you see Elon Musk, what about him says CEO other than white male? Other than that, what says CEO? Absolutely, positively nothing. So it didn't matter how I showed up in the world. It did not matter how straight my hair was, how skinny I was, how perfect I talked. It did not. None of that really mattered because we've been culturally conditioned to believe a CEO looks a certain way. So I said, fuck it. If I can't look it, then I'm gonna look the way that I want to look and do it. So I just said, I am going to show up in the world the way that I see fit. And the people that follow me, follow me. The people that get it, get it. The people that don't, don't. You know what I'm saying? And then a lot of people were like, do you feel like you've lost customers because of your TikTok personality? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But I get on this app and I talk authentically about life. I talk authentically about raising a child. I talk authentically about going through transition. I talk authentically about being hurt, in love and overcoming that and, having the challenges. Hello, Waco. You know what I'm saying? So I get on here and I speak authentically about life. And so if you don't want to follow me or you don't want to buy my products because I speak authentically and from the heart, then maybe you're not my customer. So again, all of this goes back to defining success on your own terms. I'm not going to twist myself up in a pretzel for my boss. I'm not going to twist myself up in a pretzel for my spouse or my customers. Because at some point in time, you have to move through life the way you feel like you need to do it. There is no way when I was working as an administrator that you could have told me that I would have the life that I have now. Like 5 years ago, no, a little bit longer than that. Let's go 6 years ago, 7 years ago, before I really got into making the home fragrance products. Had you told me that I was going to quit my job, give up my retirement, my good government retirement, working for the state, start my own company, have a whole bunch of stories and stuff written about me, join TikTok, become a little mini micro influencer, like you could have never told me that. You could have never told me that. But the reason that it all happened is because I decided to create a life that I felt in alignment with. Like I said, the closer I got to being an administrator, a principal, associate superintendent, like when I started really looking at how those people lived, I was like, I can't do this. I can't show up in the world every day and behave like this. It is not in alignment with how I feel. Yeah, I'm kind of woo-woo. I believe in, crystals and burning sage and, quiet as it's kept. I'm like a little softy. And these people kind of went through the world with an edge. And they kind of, oh God, it's kind of like corporate America where what you see is just a facade. I don't know how to do that. I do not know how to do that. So I said, I have to choose a career where I get to be who I am. I have to identify what are my personal aspirations. What are my personal goals? How do I want to show up in the world? Okay. Let me see. I'm missing a comment. Y'all know I can't see. Sheila Smith says, speak your truth. I'm a firm believer you shouldn't conform to how others want you to be. I totally agree. Janelle says, people enjoy realness, something they can relate to. You're very relatable and it's refreshing. Y'all, I tell people all the time, my content is not inspirational, it's aspirational. That means that you can do this. You can live the life that I live. It's like nothing fancy about it. You know what I'm saying? And I do that purposefully. I decided that Gucci was not important to me. Accept me how you see me. Exactly. Accept me exactly how you see me. You know, I just decided Gucci wasn't that important. And if I liked the shirt and it came from Walmart, damn it, it came from Walmart. That's just where it came from. You know what I'm saying? And when people get on here and they be like, oh, I went here, I'm just like, I don't care. Like, my next goal is to go to the Grand Canyon. Like, I'm not trying to go to Bali. And this is no knock to people that are going to Bali or St. Bart's or whatever fancy trip you're going on. This is not a knock to you. But it is a message to people to say, hey, if you just want to take a trip to the beach with your kids and have a nice time and roast some doggone hot dogs, like, that's okay too. That is okay too. If you want to get in a camper, you know, and spend the night at a RV park, you know, at a that's okay too. Like, these things are okay too. Thank you for the rose. You don't have to like feel bad about wanting a nice simple life. Like, y'all, I promise you, I drive a vehicle that's 20 years old. I have an Aviator. And if you know what an Aviator is, it was like the mini version of a Navigator. And I don't even know how long ago. I think they stopped making them like 15 years ago. I still drive a 20-year-old vehicle. Now, I will say my other vehicle is a Jag. Because, you know, I got to be cute a little bit. But the vast majority of my time is spent in my Aviator, a 20-year-old vehicle. I don't put on airs. You know what I'm saying? I show up in the world exactly how I need to show up. I don't want a huge car payment. You know, I don't want a huge house payment. I don't want to work. I don't want to wake up every day going to a job I hate so that I could drive a car that impresses the neighbors that I don't like. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to do that. I'd rather drive an older car and spend my money on things that bring me joy. You know what I'm saying? I ain't ever going to education again. Do you mean like you're not working in education again, Sassy? Because if that's the case, I concur. I agree. I ain't ever going back. I can't go back. I've worked for myself and I get to show up in the world authentically. And I decided last year, and I really implemented it this year, that I wanted to have a positive impact on every single person that I meet. And when you're saying that and you're on social media, that's what I thought you meant. You're not going back. Girl, I ain't even gonna talk about it because I'll be all off track if I start talking about CPS and education. But I decided last year that I wanted to have a positive impact on anybody that came across me. Now, does that mean I'm nice to everybody? No, that is not what it means, because there are some people that do not deserve niceness at all. Okay, but I decided that I wanted people to see me and that I had an impact on them. Okay, and I started a consulting business last year. A consulting business for businesses, and I priced it at a price point that people can afford it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you literally can. It's like $35 a month, and people are like, "Oh my God, this is crazy. Why is it so inexpensive?" Number one, I only let certain people in, and number two, because I wanted it to be affordable for people that were growing their business. I wanted to have a positive impact on people. This year, I started Flourish. And Flourish is like, I hate to say life coaching because there are so many people on here that are like, I'm a life coach. And they're like 22 years old and they ain't even lived life. They're barely grown and their brain hasn't even functioned. But they're on here talking about they're a life coach. So I hate calling it a life coaching program. But it is. It's a group coaching program. And twice a month, we have workshops. You know what I'm saying? And I give you the tools to actually live the life that you want. On the 17th, we're having a workshop on manifestation. And then on the 31st, we're having a workshop on finding love. I actually give you workbooks. I give you the tools. I give you affirmations. I give you everything that you need in order to be successful. I have a Facebook group because at the end of the day, I decided that I was going to define success differently. I wanted to create a successful an environment where I made a difference in people's life. That's how I decided to define success. Not how many pair of shoes, not how fancy my clothes is, none of that. The link is in the bio to join the Flourish group. I think it's like $27 a month, but every month you get a workbook, you get other resources. There's a planner in there to help you plan out your entire year. The workshop, you get all of the workshops free that I do. In any other resources, like this month, I think we added coloring pages for adults. You get 5 sets of coloring pages, which doesn't sound like much, but if you are stressed out, those coloring pages will bring you right down. So you get 5 sets of coloring pages, 2 sets of affirmation cards, a yearly planner, 2 workshops, and each workshop comes with a 30-day journal. Each workshop comes with a 30-day journal. And so the program, the coaching, the group coaching that I do, and it comes with a Facebook group. The Facebook group is free. Anybody can join the group, but that's where we're going to talk about the stuff that we're doing in the coaching. And so it's work though. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have a successful life without putting in the work. You don't have a successful life without writing down what your goals are, without changing your mindset, without changing how your brain literally works. And that's what affirmations do for you, you know. And so we talk about all of this and how it all goes together to help you create the life that you want. And so everything that I teach is exactly what I did. Thank you for the rose, Fro Globe. It's exactly what I did in order to change my life. And I got on here and I just did not realize that so many people did not understand how the brain works. And listen, y'all, I may get on here and talk crazy sometimes, but at the end of the day, I have 22 years in education. I have an undergraduate degree in mathematics. I was a mathematics major. And then I studied curriculum and instruction with a ed leadership with a concentration in curriculum and instruction. So basically what I'm saying is I'm super smart and I know how to break down complicated concepts so that people are able to implement them. That's what I did when I was a teacher. I taught math and then I taught teachers how to be better teachers. So I know how to take like these complicated concepts, break it down step by step, and then give it back to you so that you can live your best life. Anyway, so I had to decide, how could I do that on a bigger scale? And TikTok just happened to be the platform that I chose to do it. So I get to show up authentically here. I get to run Southern Elegance and have my home fragrance company. I get to consult with other small businesses and help them grow their company. And then I get to talk to women in all walks of life to make a positive impact on their life and help them transition and pivot. Like, there is no way that my life could be better than this. You know what I'm saying? And none of it centers around finding a man that's 6 feet, 6 pack, 6 figures. Irrelevant. None of it centers around a fancy car. Irrelevant. None of it is centered around clothes or shoes or anything materialistic. None of it. All of it is about, how do I impact the people around me? And the majority of the people that I'm impacting are other women. You know what I'm saying? So I had to decide, how do I want to show up in the world? How can I show up authentically for myself and help others? You see what I'm saying? But it took work. I don't want to even make it seem like one day I woke up, snapped my fingers, and this happened. That is not how it happens. There's a lot of trials and tribulations. My whole marriage fell apart. You know what I'm saying? When I started my company. But going through the divorce set me up to pivot and live my best life. And because of that, I was able to start Flourish. You see what I'm saying? That experience of going through that divorce, feeling like my whole life was over. Because I loved that man. I loved him. You know what I'm saying? I had put my whole life on hold. I wrapped everything up around him. And then he just one day said, I don't like you no more. I met somebody else. I like her more. Devastated. But then I had to pick myself up. And when I put all of the pieces back together, I was like, wait a minute. I'm pretty damn amazing. Let me go off in the world and see what I can do. And then I did some amazing things. And I was like, wait a minute. I had all of this hidden. I had all of this in me, but I couldn't live my best life because I was living in the shadow of my husband. Like, is this real? Is this real? And y'all, it was real. And so yes, ma'am, that puzzle turned out even better. When I was able to get out and create the life that I wanted, figure out what was important to me. Thank you to Chosen Styles. Listen, I had to choose what was important to me because what's important to him, totally different. Totally different. And listen, there's nothing wrong with loving the aesthetic. He loves the aesthetic. He's fine. He's tall. He's got the Mercedes. He's got a gorgeous girlfriend right now. She checks all of the boxes. She's amazing. They have the whole look. You see them together, you go, oh, damn. Hell, I see them together. I be like, well, damn. She is more of a fit for him than I ever could have been because I'm like this woo-woo, spiritual rock and meditating, candle burning. It's not superficial. It's what is important to him. And they go well together, y'all. They go well together. I'm telling you, I see them together. I be like, damn, that's a cute couple right there. I'm happy for him. I'm happy for her because she got a good man. I'm happy for him because he got exactly what he wanted. You know what I'm saying? And there's nothing wrong with that. But it freed me. And I'm going to tell you the other thing that freed me, when I wanted him to be happy. When I wanted him to be happy, and I stopped holding on to all of my hurt and my anger and my resentment, and I focused on myself, whole life opened up. My whole life opened up when I started worrying about myself. Oh, y'all, you know what I found out? I got sound effects. Hold on, sound effects. What are sound effects? Hold on. When I started focusing on myself, hold on, y'all, I'm about to press another button and see what other sound effect. Hold on. Let me stop pressing. Y'all, I'm sorry. I didn't know I was going to scream. I couldn't see the words. Let me stop. That's what happened. Let me stop before I be done press something. TikTok don't like it. My bad. I didn't know I was going to scream. Anyway, when I started focusing on myself, that's when my life got better. That is when my life got better. So, how do you define success? You have to really sit down and figure out what is important to you. What are the things that matter to you? How do you see your life? Did family matter or contribute to the divorce? Nope. Not that I'm aware of. Not that I'm aware of. I will say this, for anyone that is curious, his family is going to be on his side. My family was on my side. My friends were on my side. His family was on his side. And don't expect anything differently. You know what I'm saying? I had been a part of the family for 20 some odd years. And then the moment that the marriage fell apart, I was no longer a part of that family. And so I think I had a clear understanding of that. And so it wasn't like life altering for me. But there are so many women that give so much of themselves to other people. In particular, their in-laws or their husband's family. And then when the marriage falls apart and everybody turn their back on you, you are lost because you gave so much to them and you expect something. Hey, Miss Scent. But I'm here to tell you, you got to focus on yourself. And I actively encourage women in particular to focus on their self right now. The moment you start focusing on yourself, you will find out who is there for you, who wants to see you happy. When you define what success looks like to you, and you start moving toward what success looks like to you, you will find out who is here for you. When you start moving towards the life that you want, you will find out who wants to see you happy. 100%. Usually those people that are trying to hold you back, they're not there for you. They really don't want to see you happy. They want you to stay in the place where you serve them. But at some point in time, you got to move into a space that is in alignment with your divine self, with your highest self. At some point in time, you got to move into that space, or else it is going to be a life wasted. It is going to be a life wasted, and it is never too late to pivot. It is never too late to pivot. I have pivoted at 40. I have pivoted at 45. I pivoted at 50, and I am 52. No, wait a minute, y'all. How old am I? This is 2023. I'm 52, getting ready to be 53 in a couple of months. I'll be 53 in November. I pivoted again this year. You see what I'm saying? And I started a consulting business, a life coaching program, a group coaching program to literally help women. It is never too late to move into your divine alignment. What I'm glad I didn't do is just sit on the couch watching Netflix, thinking about all the stuff that I could have done, which is what some of y'all are doing. You can't find a man because you didn't get up, take a shower, put on some makeup, and walk your ass out the door. Okay? He's not knocking on your door. And if he is, he's 80-10, he's trying to sell you something, and you really don't want him. Trust me. Okay? Some of y'all are ready to do something else with your life and in your career, but you're not willing to make the sacrifice, or you're not willing to take the chance because you don't really believe in yourself. Okay, it's 8:31. I said I was going to talk 30 minutes. I'm going to leave you with this one thing. This is how I'm able. This is the one thing that gets me through every single challenge. I read a quote that said, "Time is an illusion. There really is no past because it's gone. There's no future. It's not here yet. All you have is the present." Okay? All you really have is the present. So you have to live in this moment. But you have to trust that your future self, she doesn't exist yet, but you have to trust that your future self is going to make the best decision for you. When I thought about that, I said, I have to trust. The only thing that I really have is this moment. And I have to trust that my future self, whenever that moment gets here, she's going to make the best decision for me. I'm making the best decision for me. Thank you, Sandra. I'm making the best decision for me right in this moment. Why wouldn't my future self do the same? And I just started thinking about that thing like, I trust me. I believe in me. I trust my judgment. And if I do that right now, I know that my future self is going to make the best decisions for me in the future. Whatever challenges she runs into. If I make a bad decision right now, if my present self make a bad decision, my future self is going to be smart enough to fix it. My future self is going to write it. When you have that belief system that your future self is going to make the best decision for you, even if your current self makes a bad decision, your future self will fix it. Your future self will write it. You see what I'm saying? It sets you up to move through life differently. And what I started doing is I started envisioning my future self, encouraging my present self to take risks, to do the thing that I'm afraid to do. So literally some nights I imagine my future self saying, Sean, take that risk. Sean, do this. I'll handle this. If you make the decision right now, I will handle it in the future. Change everything about how I move through the world. Change everything how I move through the world. Because I trust my judgment in the moment. And I trust my judgment in the future. And my future self is just as smart as my current self. If I'm managing now, I will manage then. It doesn't matter what happens. And y'all, I have made some boneheaded decisions in this year. But I promise you, it wasn't anything that I could have avoided. It was stuff with business, the recession, business got hard, the algorithms changed. I had to pivot. I had to learn new skills. But guess what happened? I learned new skills. I pivoted. The company is still in business. I started other businesses. I grew my platform. I did a lot of things. Had I just sat down and wallowed in sorrow instead of trusting my future self, like I would have never done anything. And now I look back Literally, I look back at January Sean, February Sean, March Sean, April Sean, May, June, July Sean. You know, I look back at her and I say, girl, you did good. You made a good decision. I got this. August Sean, August version of me, got it. You know what I'm saying? The past versions of me made good decisions and they trusted me. And so I know September version of me, October version of me, November version of me, December version of me, she got it. All I got to do is keep going. So I just want y'all to, I'm going to leave y'all with that thought that the future version of you will handle your life and do a good job with it. You just have to trust her. You just have to trust her. I may be back on later on tonight. If I come back on later on tonight, it's going to be ratchet talk. It ain't going to be all of this good vibes type stuff. Hopefully next week, Zeke will be back. Next week, we are talking about building a purposeful career, finding fulfillment in your professional career. Unless another topic pop up, we may talk about some other things. It's kind of open, so hopefully next week Zeke will be back. Again, my name is Deshawn Russell. I am the owner of Southern Elegance Candle Company. I also have a business consulting company called Road to Revenue, and I have a life coaching, a group life coaching program called Flourish. We do 2 workshops per month. The link is in the bio. Flourish is amazing. I give you all of the tools that you need in order to live your best life. This month we're talking manifestation and finding love. I highly encourage you to join the program. There are a lot of resources each month. I open up a resource, but then I close a previous month's resource. So right now you will get you'll get July and August. And then next month, it'll be like August and September. So there's always 2 months worth of content in there for you. And I'm constantly adding resources to the program. So $27 a month. Link is in the bio. If I see y'all later, it's not going to be the love and light Sean. It's going to be the ratchet ghetto hood Sean. Talking crazy Sean. Praying that she don't get in TikTok jail Sean. If I see you later on after hours, y'all have a wonderful, wonderful night. And hopefully I see you around 9 or 10. Yeah, around 9 or 10-ish. It depends. I got to go cook for my kid. Make sure he's all right. So y'all have a great night.